I always forget to turn up my audio. Good evening, folks. So this is coming up on 2 a.m. on the East Coast, coming up on 10 on the West Coast in the States, and I think tonight is more of a blog for me, kind of a voice blog, in the sense that I have some stuff I just need to get off my chest. You know, even Christians have what we call PTSD. And I've been dealing with a few myself lately. So I've been working with a home fellowship, but then trying to deal with a lot of stuff. My daughter's been yearning for some fellowship with some other women, and I've been wanting to get back to a good church that's in the area. But the only really good church in this area is the one that I used to attend with my ex-wife, and the last time I was there was probably 2020. And so I went back for the first time last week, and I've just been having nothing but just constant thoughts, dreams, recollections of things that have happened since then. Even just dreams, that aren't true, they aren't reality, but she's constantly in them. And it comes to a point in your life when you're dealing with so much that it gets to the point where you feel like you can't deal with anymore. For the past, I guess, it'll be 10 years this year. I've been dealing with some major health problems, and first it started out with some incredible stomach pain, and went to the hospital 3 times about it, and they're like, oh, it's just anxiety, blah 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 blah, until I demanded to get scoped, and turns out I have Crohn's disease with some ulcerative colitis in there as well. And then from there, about 8 months later, I started developing a form of epilepsy, but now I know it wasn't epilepsy, it was something else. Basically, I have too much fluid in my head that's pushing down on my brain and causing my brain to then on top of that, I had been having, and wasn't diagnosed until September of last year, heart issues, atrial fibrillation, and then something I've never even heard of before, something cardiovascular vasospasms, which basically means the arteries and, in my case, also the veins to my heart, they get a signal, some neurological signal, electronic signal, that tells them to close up, which basically mimics having a heart attack. Makes me very, very weak. It's very painful. The heart itself and the arteries and all of that are in good condition. It's just an electrical system. But this all started right after I got married to this woman. We just bought a house together, and it was a really good deal on the house. Came with 2 plots of land. It was an older house. It's actually a basement house. The whole plan was, once the house was paid off, we were going to use the equity on that to get a loan to build a house on top of it. So we'd have 2 furnished floors, lots of land to do plenty with, gardens, whatever it is, whatever you call it. Just to do what we want with it, and in a good area of town. She ended up paying for half of it. I paid for the other half. And in 2021, it was fully paid off. Early 2021. But there were issues in the relationship. She was a Mormon. I'm a Christian. And I'm not going to name names here, but I have to go into details. She went through a lot of things in her life, especially in her teens, where instead of getting addicted to chemical drugs, she slept around a lot, and that basically it ended up carrying over into our marriage, and I eventually got weak, and I couldn't perform the duties of the marital duties of a husband. So, other certain party wanted to get others involved, and it was one of the toughest things I went through. And eventually, I said, "No, we're not doing this anymore." It was talk about feeling your heart ripped out from you. I already lost my manhood, unable to work, and being in constant pain, having multiple surgeries and all of that. Anyway, so we found this church, and we were attending it for quite a while, getting actively involved. I even preached into it for a while myself, and so we're back at it now. We started attending last week, and I'm getting these just all these flashbacks. And we met when I was 39. I am gonna be turning 50 this year. And it's gotten to the point that with all of my health problems coming up, I was told a few days ago that I'm probably going blind. They can't figure out something immediately. I'm having, these issues with my heart, digestive system. I'm in bed a lot. I miss the companionship, the intimacy. I'm not even talking physical, I'm talking intimacy between husband and wife. Stuff that even though my daughter's living with me, I can't talk to her about. And it's a different type of thing. Then of course you get the humiliation of getting to the point where you can't even bathe yourself, so you gotta have people to do it for you. And now this on top of everything else. I've been having nightmares after nightmares, and it's just been a constant torment. And I know what PTSD is. I've never been to war, but I've lived on the streets for 2 years. I've seen friends killed, friends who died of overdose. I've seen things happen that I don't even want to describe to other people. And other instances that have happened in my life. And I'm going through that again. The point is, no matter if you're a born-again child of God or not, you're going to go through these trials. I'll be honest today, I spent all day in bed. Told my daughter to go out to church without me because I can't go there because there's too many memories. And it's a good church. The people there are really, really good. They teach the word really, really good. But every time I'm there, I think of her. And it's torture. Today, I didn't even take a single medication. I'm kind of at the point of, my body is where it's at right now. Tail the 9 metalhead, if you're gonna start causing trouble on here, I am really in the mood to start banning people, and I will ban the heck out of you. So, don't be coming on here and posting stuff. Don't be doing stuff like that. I'm not in the mood right now. I'm not gracious tonight. Now, I know a lot of people have gone through worse. And I talk to so many atheists and agnostics who say, well, we used to be Christian, but we're not anymore because this and this happened, or we saw this happen in the church, or this has happened in our lives. I'm going to call bull on that. I'm going to say you were never a Christian in the first place. What is a Christian? A Christian is someone who has a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And it's not a one-way conversation where you're just praying to him. There are others who it's God who talks with you as well, and you go through things. But if you haven't had that reborn spirit, if you haven't had that life-changing experience, if you haven't had that true love, you were never a Christian in the first place. You were just someone who was attending a service, going through the motions, and when the things got tough, you left. You ran with the tail between your legs, and you tried to come up with all sorts of excuses as to why there can be no God. And, those are the worst type of people out there, as far as my opinion. They're the ones that get the bad name to Christianity because they claim to have been Christian once, but they have no idea what being a Christian is. They have no idea. So I don't respect them. I don't. So what do I do in times like this? Well, right now I'm actually thinking of the Bible. Come on, Bible, pull it up, will you? Anyway, it's Hebrews 13:5. It's the second part of it. Well, actually, just read the whole thing. Let your conversation be without covetousness, without want, without desires, and be content with such things as ye have. For he hath said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. So that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me. I guess that's an issue that I am dealing with right now. There are those things that I deeply, deeply want in my life. I definitely want a partner by my side, someone, a partner in Christ, but a helpmeet. It just says God gave Adam. I never got to see my children grow up. I'd love to see a child grow up, even at this old age. I'd love to have one more child. But, at times, and I've mentioned this before, you can be in the midst of a crowd of many, many people and feel completely alone. And what do you do with that? What do you do with that? If there are any Christians who are listening and want to join in, there's a link pinned on both my YouTube and Rumble. They'll take you right to the stage. If you're not a member of the server yet, you've got to just go through the real basic sign-up question. All it is it asks you a few questions. Are you this? Are you that? You just hit answer yes or no, and it'll assign a role to you. Then you get a full access to the server. Then you can join the stage, which is where I'm at, and we can talk from there. But it's rough. I mean, I'm not suicidal in the sense, but I've gotten to the point where I've kind of just basically given up. It's kind of one of the reasons why I've stopped taking my medication. My heart's gonna fail on me. Let it fail. If I can't eat, then I can't eat. It's been since October of 2021 that I've been completely alone. But it's been about 10 years since I've been locked in this house. And it almost feels like a jail. And I'm tired of it, and I want it to get over with. But as God said, as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are his ways higher than my ways. what I'm going through doesn't nullify the fact that God is real, that Jesus is real, that he rose from the dead. I don't have words with any idiot who says otherwise. But at the same time, Christians go through struggles just like everyone else. And sometimes they're really, really difficult struggles. And I'm sitting in my chair right now and I'm talking, and since I haven't taken my heart medication today, I can already feel it weak and it's going out of rhythm. Which is a really funny feeling in your heart. Haven't had much to drink today. I don't know. Maybe what I should do today is read the Bible. Read it out loud and I don't know, Ecclesiastes is really calling to me. And let's go ahead back to chapter 1. Ecclesiastes was written by Solomon, and what it's really all about is the hopelessness of life, the purposeless, the lack of purpose that comes with a life without God, no matter what kind of purpose you try to give to it. There isn't a purpose. And so let's go ahead and see what it has to say. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 1. The word of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Again, like I said, this was written by Solomon. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Again, recognize this is a man writing from the perspective of someone whose life isn't focused on God, but focused on his own wants, his own endeavors, his own achievements, his own pride, his own flesh. What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also riseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goes towards the south, and turneth about into the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to its circuits. And the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers comes, thither they return again. All things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing which hath been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. How true is that? We hear the common phrase all the time that unless we know history, we follow our history and remember it, history always repeats itself. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath already been of old time which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. This is what the atheist has to look forward to. I, the preacher, was king over Israel and Jerusalem, and I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath God given to the sons of man to be exercised therewith. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. I communed with mine own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge, and I gave my heart to know wisdom, and to know madness and folly. And I perceived that this also is vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief. He that increaseth in knowledge increaseth in sorrow. And that is true. I said in my heart, Go now, I'll approve thee with myrrh. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, this also is vanity. I said of laughter, It is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? I sought in mine heart to give myself unto wine, yet equating my heart with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was good under the sons of men, which they should do under heaven all the days of their life. I made me great works, I builded me houses, I planted me vineyards, I made me gardens and orchards, I planted trees in them of all kinds of fruits. It made me pools of water to water therewith the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small cattle above all that were in Jerusalem before me. Very rich man. I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasures of kings and of the provinces. I got me men, singers, and women singers, and the delights of all sons of men, as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. So I was great, and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem, and also my wisdom remained with me. And whatsoever my eyes desired, I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy. For my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on all the labor that I had labored to do. And behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit. There was no profit under the sun. No matter what you do, no matter what works, no matter what you put your efforts into, no matter what you put your heart on, pleasures, creating great monuments, all of that. In the end, our life is finite. And what does it profit you? What does it profit you? When you die, you can't take it with you to the grave, no matter how many riches you have, no matter what you've constructed. What you can take to the grave with you is your sin. But that's it. Ah, there goes my voice. This is the lack of medication. And I turn myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the men do that cometh after the king, even that which hath already been done? Then I saw that wisdom excelleth in folly, as far as light excelleth in darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walketh in darkness. And I myself perceived also that one event happeneth to them all. It's death. Then said I in my heart, As happeneth to the fool, so it happeneth even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart, that this also is vanity. For there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever, seeing that which now is in the days to come shall be all forgotten. And how dieth the wise man? As the fool. Therefore I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me. For all is vanity and vexation of spirit. And that, my friends, is what happens when you're trying to live life without God, without Christ. It doesn't matter what you do or try to do. It all ends to the same place. There is no purpose in life outside of Jesus. He's the one that gives us purpose. So if you're one of those fake Christians who rely upon religion, who focus your eyes upon preachers or influencers or whatever it may be, you're going to be disappointed one day. If you focus your life on your family, on relationships, on pleasures, even on children, you're going to be let down one day. But if you focus your life on God, that's not going to happen. Yes, you're going to go through your rough times. You're going to go through very, very difficult times, such as the ones that I'm going through right now. The question that you need to ask is, what are you going to do with it? You know, as Joshua said, at the end of his book, he said, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." And there's some great wisdom in that. God is our purpose. I don't understand why God has allowed me to go through the trials that I've gone through in my entire life. I don't understand the health issues that I'm dealing with. I don't understand what seems to be almost futile of breaking through the hardness of hearts and the foolishness of those who claim there is no God. You know, sometimes I just want to slap them upside the cheek and tell them, look, open your eyes, open your heart. There is a God. There is not only just a God, there is one God, a personal God who died for your sins and wants a personal relationship with you. Open your heart. There is plenty of evidence that goes around. If you ignore it intentionally, the whole creation speaks to the existence of God, even the invisible things of the world. I mean, have you ever looked at a single cell organism and you're going to tell me that's simple? Fertilization of an egg, instantly when it happens, a burst of light comes forth. All of this is natural. All of this is without God. You're a fool for thinking such a thing. It's time for you to wake up. It's time for you to wake up. To claim there is no God. Proverbs chapter 1 starts out with that. It says, "A fool has said in his heart, there is no God." Well, I know that there is a God, and that God is Jesus Christ. And the moment my heart stops beating, I know that I'll be with him in eternity, in a place without time, forever. In a place where there's not going to be any more suffering, physically or emotionally. For there will be continuous joy. I'll continually learn of the infinite God, the infinite love, infinite rejoicing, infinite peace. I have a cat that's locked in the room with me right now, and he doesn't like it, but he should have got out when he had the chance, so if you hear meowing in the background, that's what you're hearing. But it's rough. You know, I so much yearn for the fellowship of another Christian in person. so much yearn for the unbelievers and the Mormons to change their ways, to stop thinking that you can make yourself righteous, and to stop living in the folly of thinking there is no God, because in the end, as Solomon said, with the wise and with the fool, we all have one place that we're going to end up, which is going to be the grave. And we're not going to be remembered. We're not going to be remembered. How many atheists can you remember from just a couple hundred years ago? Let's mention even 1,000 years ago. There aren't any. Maybe you can name one or two at the top of your head. But self-importance that we give ourselves really isn't that important. It's rather actually weak. We're not as important to each other as we think that we are. We are important to God. So again, if you want to discuss this, if you want to debate this, my Discord server is open. The link is pinned. You can go ahead and join the stage. I'll bring you up and talk. But the truth of the matter is, without Jesus, there is no meaning, because God created us in His image with a need, with a desire for a relationship with Him. That is our purpose in life, and that is eternity, where death is not the end. With my health, with my age, with going from being pretty fairly wealthy to living off of the government dole and barely able to make it through month by month. I mean, this is even before the Biden economy came in. And me being stuck out in the boondocks. Hey, Tammy, calm down, baby, calm down. I don't see the possibility of me ever finding that true partner that I want, that I need. But I do have the partner in Jesus Christ, and that's what matters. But I confess, at this time, I give up, or I feel like I just want to give up. Not on Jesus, but just on life itself, of the daily struggles going through. I mean, and every day is such a struggle. Timing my life around when I can take my pills, having to sleep all the time because of them, not being able to be active. The only time I get out of the house is to go to a doctor appointment or to go to the hospital. My veins are ruined. I'm like a heroin user because I've had so many IVs stuck in me. Trying to break through the wall that the Mormons have put up. Trying to convince an atheist who would rather live their own life the way they want to see fit, which makes no difference at all whatsoever, that there is a God, when the evidence is already all around them. But they've already chosen to harden their heart for whatever lame excuse they've given. I don't care what you've gone through in your life. I've been through some hard stuff myself, and so have many others. You don't have that as an excuse. Oh, so bad things have happened to you. Well, that's what life is. This world is cursed with sin and is full of sinful beings. I tried an experiment about a month or so ago. Wanted to connect with some atheists and see if we could find some common ground. And just based on who I voted for this past election, I was called horrible, horrible things. And on their side is all but hatred and violence, both in word and deed. And the point is, there is no common ground the Christian and the non-believer. There isn't. We are separate. And that just comes naturally from who we are, from how God made us. And He can't change that. And I can't convince someone to be convicted in the heart and change their mind to accept that, hey, there is a God. Only God can do that. So what's the point? Well, all I can do is make myself available, and those who want to listen, if they want to listen, feel free to do so. You want me to prove to you 100% that God is real? I can only show you so much. The rest is between you and God, and what you already know down in your heart. Matter of fact, most of the atheists that I know that God exists. They just hate Him for one reason or another, for the troubles that they've gone through. Oh, you've lost a husband, you've lost a child, you've lost a job. Your health isn't that great. You don't have all the toys that the others have. So there can be no God. What fools you are for thinking such things. And what a fool I am to want to give up simply because of a past romance, a past marriage, of a wonderful church that I can't even go back to because the emotional trauma, everything reminds me of her. And as I travel through this life physically alone, I know God is with me. So why is there this desire within me to want to give up? I don't know. You explain it to me. These are trials and these are fires that we go through. And while we're going through them, we may not understand God's purpose at that time. Sammy, thank you for walking all over me, my friend. Yes, I have my cat on my lap right now. But these are trials that we go through. And it's so easy to want to give up. Paul talks about running the race, fighting the good fight, working to achieve the salvation as if we had not already achieved it. Well, we've achieved it through what Jesus did. But keep fighting the fight and living the life. Because Christ is that precious. And so I can't give up. And no matter how many times I stream, no matter how many times I try to preach a lesson out of the Bible, there's, so many people who they just want their ears tickled. I get more responses from reaction videos that I post online than from a single video that I talk about God. But I talk about Him because He is real, and everything else, nothing else matters. Yes, I know you want to be pet. You want to be pet. I know. I know. So I don't know. These are the struggles that I'm going with. I am dealing with constant flashbacks as if I am experiencing all over again what I went through. And the way the marriage ended was so horrible. She told me she wanted to leave. She couldn't deal with my health problems at all anymore, and I was distraught. And so I was walking in town to my doctor, and she called the cops, telling them that I attempted to kill myself, which was not the case. Cops arrested me, and this was on a Thursday. Took me to the hospital. The doctor didn't even spend 30 seconds talking to me and admitted me to the psych ward for 4 days, where I was in constant pain, dealing with people who are having really regular issues. She used those 4 days to clean out the house and has had nothing but venom towards me. I mean, that's how my last relationship ended. And so I'm experiencing all of those traumas and those fears all over again. Because simply I just want to go back to church. And what is this? Is this a spiritual attack? Is this something that I've buried deep, that I haven't wanted to face in a long time? I don't know. I think I do need to start taking my medication again. My heart is definitely weak and going out of rhythm. If I'm not careful, I could die within the next couple of days, if not tonight, because I just don't care anymore. Like I said, I probably had anything to drink. No water, no Gatorade. It's just at this point, God, I don't have the strength to do this anymore. And if this isn't the ministry that you want me to do, then just let me know, because I don't see the results of it. I don't see people's lives being worked on. And I'm pouring my heart, every ounce of strength that I have, I'm literally pouring into this. But maybe this is not what you want. I give it to you, God, and let you do what you want. I give my health to you. Do what you want with it. I give my future to you. It's yours to handle. I know me and my own strength, I have none. You're the only strength that I have. And I just wanted to be doing your will. And I know that I'm not alone because you're with me, but boy, it would sure be nice to have that partner in life whose heart is for you and for me as much as mine would be for you and for her. I feel like I'm just existing right now. I'm not living. And only you, God, can change that. I'm reminded of Job, and nowhere do I dare compare myself with that righteous man. But here was Job, lost all his wealth, lost his children, ended up being covered in boils, and he was scraping them off with pot shards, and his wife is telling him, just curse God and die. Well, I'm not going to curse you, God. Whether I live or whether I die, that's in your hands. But as for me, your will be done, Lord. Not mine, your will be done. I really don't understand why I'm going through this trial other than your promise in Romans 8:28. All good things to those who love God, those who are called according to his purpose. That you'll turn tragedy even into a blessing. You'll turn heartache into joy. weeping into rejoicing, suffering into peace. And on that, I've learned through past experience that you've shown me. And on that, I trust. That's what faith is trust. And it's not based on anything I do, but it's based on your grace, which is your favor towards me, which I haven't earned. It's your mercy towards me, and that's all I rely upon. I would love it, and I would praise you, Lord, if, well, I praise you now. But I would love it to see a life changed. I would love to see someone who was chosen to spend eternity away from you, spend eternity with you, because in you there is only hope. Without you, that's just the book of Ecclesiastes, where Solomon tells us, vanity of vanities, all life is vanity. Without you, God, there is no meaning to life. Frustrates me with the evil that's going on in this world and the harm that other people cause each other. But all we can do is be the light on the hill and love each other unconditionally. It's not my position to judge another person, but to be there for them. I can say what you're doing is wrong, but I can't judge them. Only you, God, are the right to judge. Well, I am very weak, and I am losing my voice. It's hoping to stream much longer than I could, but look, we all go through times of trial, times of testing, times when it seems like it's never going to end. And what we need to do is, when we're going through those times, is hold on to Jesus even harder. Because ultimately, He's all that matters. And one day soon, I will be in His arms. Whether it be tonight, tomorrow, next year, next decade. In the span of time, 75 to 100 years is not a very long time. And at the age of 50, I've already gone through the majority of it, so I don't have long to wait. All I ask of you, God, is that while I'm here, use me. Be honest. Be real, don't be fake. And to trust in you no matter what happens. This is Phil. Till next time.